Hi guys, it's Ray here from Man City Fan TV. It's time for our preview video with Brewers TV for the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg, Manchester City versus Burton Albion. Usual format, I'll be asking 5 questions, they'll be asking us 5 questions, and we'll record our responses. Question 1. How has Burton's season been going so far? Can you still make the playoffs?
I think it's been a relatively rocky season for us so far, especially in the opening stages of it. Especially as I mentioned at the start of the season, we really struggled to get wins under our belt, especially against teams who at the minute are sort of hovering towards the lower end of the table. We failed to beat Rochdale on the opening day and in fact lost to them 2-1 despite having most of the possession and most of the shots. We also lost to Gillingham, who have been in and around the relegation zone for most of the season. But since then, we've changed a lot. We've learned to put away our chances, and we now are beating teams, at least those who are towards the lower end of the table. And we're putting in getting results against the bigger teams as well. We've beaten Sunderland this season and getting a draw away at Portsmouth, which is always a tough place to go. So I think the place that where we started to struggle at the start was just winning, not being able to win ugly. There was a lot of teams who would come to play against us and get their tactics absolutely spot on, try and catch us on the counter-attack as we piled men forward. But since then we've changed that. We played Rochdale again away just a few days ago and we managed to beat them 4-0. So that says how much we've improved. Is it too late to make the playoffs though? I'm not sure, to be honest. It's definitely going to be tight. The League One table itself is very tight. I think there's just 20 points separate the relegation zone and the playoffs at the minute. So everything's to play for, I guess. But if we can keep on putting in results, hopefully we might be able to sneak into the playoffs at the end of the season.
Okay, first question to me. Do you think City can win the Cup? Of course we can. We won it last year. It's actually, I think, one of our more successful Cups that we've won. I think we won it 3 times in 6 years or something like that. So yeah, we can win. I mean, no disrespect to Burton Albion, but I think everybody is just about banking on City winning this game, and then we'd be in the final against Chelsea or Spurs. And although we got turned over by Chelsea at their place this season, I think we'd performed really well overall against Spurs. I think we were a bit below par, but we still had enough quality to beat Spurs, and I think especially the way we played against Liverpool, we seem to be getting back to some a level of good form, and we've added a lot of grit and determination, and we've dug in against Liverpool, and I think that's going to hold us in very good stead for the rest of the season. So yeah, I really think we can win the Carabao Cup again. I think the fans love going down to Wembley at the end of February, early March, whenever the final is. And we make we have a great time. A lot of people who might not easily get tickets to other games, for City, for away games especially, or the FA Cup, for example. It's a great opportunity for them to go and see City at Wembley, and yeah, we have a great time. Question 2. You've beaten Villa, Burnley, Forest and Borough in the Carabao Cup so far this season. How have you managed to do it? And can you beat the best this time round?
I think similar to our league form, actually, our cup form has changed. Obviously, we have won all of our games so far, but just the way that we've approached the games, the way that we've played the games has changed massively. In the second round, we played against Aston Villa, as you mentioned, and we've really struggled against them, to be fair. They didn't feel perhaps the strongest of sides, but it was a really tough game for us. Then Burnley was sort of the real turning point. Struggled in the first half, but then we managed to really come back and hit them hard in the second. And since then, it's been pretty much all front foot for us, I'd say. Against Forest, to get 3 goals against Championship side for us, we've a lot of key players missing in that game, and we could have had more. Liam Boyce missed a penalty in that game, and we also had a couple of other chances. And then obviously against Middlesbrough as well, where although it was a very poor first half, we had arguably three of the best chances of the game, with Jamie Allen hitting the post, Jake Hesker scoring the goal that he did, and Marcus Harness scraping just over from the edge of the box. So I think, obviously, it's going to be really hard to beat City. They are the best team, in my opinion, probably the best team in the world, or at least last season. They're known for fielding a strong team. They beat Rotherham 7-0 just the other day. So it's definitely going to be tough for us. I wouldn't say, especially at the Etihad, that we could beat City. But if we can hold it to a manageable margin, we just don't want things to get out of hand. If we can hold it to 1 or 2 goals, you never know what can happen in the Cup. But it's certainly going to be tough to beat the best team in the world.
Second question, were you happy with the draw? To be honest, I think for most City fans, it's the draw we wanted. It probably, and we're hoping, it gives us an opportunity to rest some players, probably for the second leg. And our feeling is we really want to go out in the first game with a stronger team as possible, and in effect put the tie to bed, so that we can take players off after 70-80 minutes to rest them. And in the second leg, we'll be a lot of league games. I think there'll be FA Cup around that time. We'll be getting ready for the Champions League again. We're playing every 3 or 4 days, so it might give us an opportunity to rest some of our key players in the second leg if we do really well in the first leg. And I think playing against Chelsea or Spurs wouldn't have given us that opportunity. So it's an opportunity that's been handed to us on a plate. No disrespect again to Burton, but we should be looking to put a few goals past them, enough to make the second leg not a formality, but a lot more comfortable. Question 3. Which Burton players should City be wary of?
I think, especially recently, the Brewers have had quite a lot of players starting to hit great form. One player who would definitely be one to watch if he plays is Marcus Harness, just 22. Bagged a hat-trick in our last game against Rochdale, and has been making an impact since he started getting into the team just around Christmas time, really. Since then, he's got 4 goals to his name this season. I'm pretty sure he's also got an assist in there somewhere as well, so very impressive from the young man. Although we also have our record signing, Liam Boyce, who was brought to the club for £500,000 at the start of our second championship season. Unfortunately, Boyce was hit with an ACL injury, which kept him out until about February time of last season. But he's came back since then, certainly added a goal-scoring thing to this squad. He's our top scorer at the minute, and is starting to hit form again. He's just recently returned from an injury, came on and scored in that victory over Rochdale. So if anyone's going to put the ball in the back of the net, it's him. But we also have Lucas Akins, who I personally think is a really underappreciated player, both last season in the Championship and so far this season. He's played every single outfield position for us. He started centre-back for us against Wimbledon, and I'm pretty sure he played up front for our next game after that. So it just shows how versatile he is. Absolutely loves the badge, and one of my personal favourite players. But yeah, there's 3 to watch out for, although anyone can turn up for us. So we'll see how it goes.
Question 3. Is there a Burton player that City need to be wary of? Well, I think the obvious answer is going to be Liam Boyce, who's your top scorer. I think he scored 10 goals in only 25 appearances, which is a decent return. It's 40%, so it's like 1 every 2.5 games he's scoring a goal, which is reasonable. I can't really see, I don't really know too many of the other players to see how they play. So he's the guy that stands out. Be interesting from a City point of view if Devante Cole gets a game, because obviously he's the son of Andy Cole, who used to play for City, and I think Devante was at our academy years ago. So that'd be interesting from the City point of view. The rest of the players, I mean, I'll be honest with you, we don't have enough time to watch a lot of Championship football with all the stuff going on around City and the number of games we've got. Every 3 days we've got a game, so we're really kind of full-time City. But I think your top scorer probably to score 10 goals, you've got to be doing something right. So he's the guy that I think we should be probably paying most attention to. Question 4. We're expecting Pep to play another strong team. Which City players are you most afraid of, and who are you looking forward to see play?
Based on that recent victory over Rotherham, I'm pretty much afraid of everyone that we could possibly face up to in this game. But one player that I certainly am excited to see is Phil Foden, the young prospect. Hopefully he'll get some minutes on the pitch because I've heard very good things about him. And I'd be interested to see how he performs against us, if he plays, of course, and see if he can prove to us why he is being regarded as one of the best youngsters in the world at the minute. In terms of players being afraid of, I think for a League One team coming up against second in the Premier League, you could pick pretty much any player out of your starting 11. But, you know, if you think your Aguero's, Raheem Sterling, Bernardo Silva has been absolutely excellent recently. So any of those three are certainly going to do their best to cause us problems on the day.
Question 4. Aside from the obvious City players, who do you think are the most? Who is the most underappreciated City player that will cause Burton problems on Wednesday night? Well, it's very hard to underappreciate City players at the moment. We've seen, you know, that forward line of Aguero and Sane and Sterling is quite formidable, and I don't think, you know, people haven't noticed them. The midfield is so creative, and with Fernandinho there, you know, breaking stuff up, and the defence too. So if I had to pick any players that were underappreciated, I'd pick 2 players who, even though they're very, very good, brilliant even, I still think they're underappreciated. One of them is Edison, and he's so cool and calm at the back. You know, he's brought a different dimension to the way we play. Not only is he a decent keeper at saving shots and stopping them, you know, you can argue there are a few better. There are a few better keepers in the Premier League. There's no one that comes anywhere near to him with his distribution. So he brings, as I said, a different dimension. So, you know, passing it out at the back, so calm and cool, drag backs, so pinpoint with his passing, and just about accurate every single time. And these are with the passes from 10 to 20 yards. And if he needs to, he'll ping it out wide near the halfway line if the fullbacks are pushed up, 30, 40 yards. And if he wants to, he'll hit that ball 60, 70 yards up the field, and he turns a defensive situation into an attacking situation very, very quickly. I mean, if you looked at the final of the Cup last season, I think it was his kick. It was Claudio Bravo's kick. But it's the same sort of thing that got Aguero in. And Edison's got 1 assist this season already, and numerous other passes he's made to our attackers in the opposition half, which have created opportunities for us. So, you know, it's the way Pep wants to do it, play around at the back, and I think Edison is so suited to that. I think he's underrated just because, you know, you've got so many fans of other clubs, you know, let's say the 2 red clubs, Liverpool and United, the biggest clubs in the country, and they're all always going to shout and sing the praises of their own players. But I think for what City want to achieve and the way Pep wants to play, Edison is really underappreciated. And the other one is probably the best City player I've ever seen in my life, and that's David Silva. I'm not even sure if he's made the Premier League team of the season ever. It's ridiculous. I think since he joined City, he's the top assist maker in the Premier League. He is underrated, you know, because people don't always see his quality. He's very quiet. Very unassuming. He's not out there making a lot of noise on the back pages or shouting out how good he is or anything else. He's just quiet and gets on with his job. And I think he makes City tick, especially last season and this season when he's been playing when Kevin De Bruyne has not been there. David Silva really makes Leroy Sané tick as well, because he puts in so many pinpoint passes, the perfect pass, and you've seen it time and time again where he'll take that just extra fraction of a second to make the pass, which makes it perfect. And you can see, I've seen players like Leroy thinking, oh, it's not coming, or, you know, they want the ball, and David Silva just still lays at that fraction to make the pass absolutely perfect. So I think you've got to really, really watch out for him, because his passing is going to absolutely open up the Burton defence. I'm sure of it. If he's playing, you know, the passes down the line to Leroy are going to be absolutely destructive. And my final question, question 5, can you give me a score prediction, please?
Personally, I know this is obviously a bit of bias being a Burton fan, but I think this is actually quite a tough one to predict. We've been very resilient in our last few games. I think we've kept a clean sheet in our last 3. So we hopefully won't go out there and let City absolutely wipe us off the park. Like I said again, as a Burton fan, I'd love. My heart is saying, just get not a point, but get a draw and just we'll try and grind something out. I'd love to see that happening, obviously, but I think City will just edge it. At the end of the day, their quality will shine through, and I'll go with the 2-0 Manchester City win. Although I would absolutely love the Brewers to pull off another shock and maybe grab a draw or even snatch a win.
And question 5, how do you think the game will pan out, and a score prediction? Well, sadly, most teams that come up to Manchester to play City come up all defensive. They stick maybe 4 or 5 in defence, 4 or 5 in midfield, but a token attacker who's very detached from the rest of the team. And to be honest, most teams that have come to City like that, unless they get huge slices of luck, I mean, Palace had, was it 4 shots, 3 goals? Unless they get a lot of luck and City are playing poorly, they're going to lose, because City will unlock your defence. As I've said before, David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne is back, and he adds another dimension to City. If Leroy Sané and Sterling are on the wing, that pace can roast defenders. We saw what they did to the Liverpool fullbacks, absolutely roasted them at times last week. So, coming to City defence in a defensive mind is not. I don't think it's the best. You've got to really try and take us on, and obviously we can hit you on the break. So what I expect to happen, I expect Burton to come and try to be tight and try and keep it narrow, double up on our wingers when we're going down the line, because I think that's the only way you're going to stop them. But I think you're going to have problems whatever way you look at it, because if we've got the 3 midfielders that we really want to play in Fernandinho to break stuff up and make the short, easy pass, and David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne, I think it's going to be very, very, very difficult to stop us creating a hatful of chances. And in all honesty, that's what I expect us to do: create a hatful of chances and score a hatful of goals. I'll be disappointed if we don't win by at least 3 clear goals. And it depends on the ambition of Burton, because I think City are there to be shot at. We've said it many times this season, down the wings, over the top of our fullbacks, there's space there for teams to exploit. Not many teams have been adventurous enough to exploit those opportunities, but they're there. And I think we'll win 4-0. So there you have it, guys. That's our preview done. A big thanks to Brewers TV, and go and check out their YouTube channel if you want to see a little bit more about Burton and some of their players and how they've been doing this season. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, it'd be great if you could just click the red button below to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. If you're at the game against Burton, just come up to our guys. I won't be there, sadly. I've got to look after my kids. Can't take my young kids out and get them home at 11 o'clock at night. But we'll have a couple of guys there. Andy's kids are there. They're big lads. So Will and Ralph, they were there filming for us. Thanks very much to those guys. And they'll be around the Blue Moon Cafe and stuff before the game and after the game. You want to get your opinions and thoughts across, go up to them and give them an interview. See you around, Blues.